Hi, good morning. This is Susie, and I am showing you a little bit about my studio. And what I like to do is to make sure that I have colors and papers and things ready to go. And I want to just first talk to you about paper. This is Arteza. It's an acid-free cold pressed paper. When it's cold pressed, it means it has some kind of variation to it. Hot press means it'll be straight and very smooth, more for calligraphy. This is for watercolor, and it's a great, um, I would say it's great for kids. That's what I use it for. I don't use it for my own work. Um, Mixed media is more of a all-purpose, but it's also fun if you're going to do some kind of painting and drawing. Maybe you sketch first, like I do oftentimes. I sketch first and then I will fill in the colors when I'm traveling. That's just an easy way to do it as a study for a larger work that I might pull off a little bit later today. So here is some paper too that I got from India, on Amazon, of course, and it is super cheap, and it's got so much natural fibers in it from the hand making process that it makes a really beautiful painting. I can show you a few things later. And here is this paper that I've just enjoyed quite a bit too. It's Arches. And then this one is my latest one that I've been using because this woman, Jane, a really amazing artist, well, this one's called Artensio. It's a little different than the one I'm thinking of. The one I'm thinking of I keep over here in my storage area for my paper behind the chair so no one sees it. And this is a beautiful paper, and it's called Saunders Waterford, and it's about 300 pounds per sheet. And so it's nice and rough surface. So you see how it says rough? I love it. It is my favorite paper. And if you buy it on Cheap Joe's, it's very affordable. And I like that. I mean, it's not super affordable. If you can say like a sheet is $15, that's still really good compared to Geary's. Anyway, so I want to let you know that those are options that I use. I also do a lot with Creative Memories. I just became a member with them so that I could start making my own cards. And I like to keep those little cards in here. Hang on, I'm going to show you. This is my first recording, as you can tell. And I can't open the box. Okay, so these are just simple little cards. And what I do with the little cards is I can use my own watercolors to go on top of them. So here's just a basic card, and you can get those anywhere, you know, Costco or, not Costco, at Michael's, or you can contact me at Creative Memories too, as well. So I would put a smaller picture that I have, and I'd stick it right on there with some glue stick, or I use these little runners that are in here. So I've been asked to share a few of these things. I use these little runners, and they're Creative Memories makes them, but you can get them at Michael's, and they're really helpful. I also use sometimes these little sticky squares that are also acid-free, and you can take the piece off and put it in a frame if you wanted to, if someone really liked your work. So those are just places that I like to go. And then, let's see, what else do I want to show you? So I keep, if I'm making a card for a friend, I go into my little box that I have of my little sketches or my drawings, my paintings. So here are a couple of them that I want to just show you for ideas. So you could make your paper folded in half, and you could put that just as it is and put it into an envelope and send it. You just make sure it's the right size. And the way that I quickly can cut paper is to use, I always have my rulers right handy. And I take the paper, I'm just going to quickly show you because I think these are things that people don't realize. If you buy a big sheet of paper or even just a regular pad of paper of 11 by 12, you can cut it with really kind of a beautiful beveled edge and use your ruler to make it cut for you. And you also have this really cool thing that Creative Memories just came out with. I'm not trying to plug them, but I wouldn't mind if you wanted to join me. They have all these different blades. And so this is called a decal, it's called a decal blade, and I like it because I can take that piece of paper if I didn't like the way it worked, and I can make my handmade card look even nicer. See, it's not that pretty right now. It's just kind of an edge. The ones I like are when it comes off the press, like here, and it's natural cotton that kind of came over the screen. So this is just another way to get that effect and make it look beautiful. So here, I'll show you how I do that. So just slide this in here. It's hard to do it with one hand. This is a new thing for me. And it makes this really nice edge that looks so much more pleasing to the eye when you're giving someone a handmade card. It looks more like watercolor paper was meant to be. And you can do both sides, or you can do all four sides. But I like to do at least two sides. And then if one side looks nice, like that's natural, you can keep that. And this one didn't go far enough, so I'm going to push that in. Okay, so that's the paper. People ask me, well, what do you use for paper? So try different ones and find the one that works for you, because I think that's the most important, is what do you like to work on, and explore it, because honestly, everyone has their own personal take on it, and I think you got to just find your own way. So today I'm going to show you, these are just a couple studies I do before I do a large piece. I like to do just quick little studies. So these are my quick studies. And then if I like it, then I'll make it bigger, okay? These are other ones I've done in the past that are not as loose. This is how I was taught, was much more of a conservative approach, where you would sketch it first, and then you would go in with the salt, and I'm sorry, you can't really see very well, can you? Anyway, you'd go in and you would do a little pencil drawing first, and you can kind of see that on here. There's a little pencil drawing, and then I go ahead and go in with my color. Now, I've been working with this woman with her books, and she's fabulous. Her name is Jean Haynes, and if you haven't seen her work, she's online. You can go on atmosphereflowers.com, or she has inspirationalwatercolors.com, and they are just spectacular. Great sources for inspiration, and I like to read her before I go to sleep. Oops, I'm sorry, Sunshine. You can go head up, 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 up. And I have my dogs here visiting because they don't know what's going on with the kids being home from school. This is my first home video while they're in the other room doing their work. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I just wanted to give you a quick overview of how I get my paper and then what I do with it, so that it's not all over my house, because, you know, people live here and I don't want to take over the whole place. So I'm just going to tidy up my workspace, because workspaces are very, very important. You don't have to have your own special room for it. I have my bedroom. Obviously, my dogs are here with me, and oftentimes they're in their kennel and they're doing their own thing. So I am in here by myself or with my hubby. Okay, so we are going to go over quickly. I want to show you the brushes that I use. I like to use a rigger. This is my favorite rigger for details later on when I'm working. So it's called a rigger. This one is a round brush, and it's a size 10 round brush. I have tons of other brushes, and I am very lucky to have them, but I really like my 10 round for watercolor. Different ones are needed for acrylics and for oils. And then this one is a number 6 round brush, which I really like as well. So I have these 3 so far. Hey, love bugs, your next class. Thank you for switching. And then I have my last one that I like of my round brush series size is a 3. So that one I use tons for details. And the rigger comes in later if I need to do other things. Then I always keep one pen that's waterproof so that I can write. I don't know if you can see this. I can write very carefully my name at the very end of my piece, okay? Okay, so I'm going to move these big pieces away for right now. I'm going to show you a few of my little tricks of the trade. So first I'm going to use, so you can have a palette where you just keep adding tubes of paint. My favorite are Winsor Newton, or I love sorry, it's Daniel Smith is the other one I really enjoy using. And I put them into different sections on my palette, and I mark on my palette what that paint is so I can replace it if I loved it. So right now you can see I'm missing turquoise. I love using my turquoise, so I need to go buy some of that. Hopefully I can get it sometime soon because I do really, really enjoy it. So keeping an eye on what you are using. Now, oftentimes people will say, I would love it if you paint a specific picture for me, but I only want to use a few colors. So I make a palette over here of just the colors that that person would like in that painting so it'll match the decor of their home. So I did this for a friend in her bathroom, and I wanted to make sure I had the right colors. So I put those just here, and I didn't go through my big palette so that it would be harmonious through the whole piece. So just something to keep in mind. I thought that'd be fun to have. Okay, so here I am. I have 2 water bowls right here, and they should both be clean, but just for an example, I wanted to show you, I keep one that is for rinsing my brush, and then I use the next one for adding water to my palette so it's clean. So I always rinse with this one, and something that I've learned along the way that it helps me is if I have a dirty brush, I am going to go in a figure 8 infinity sign so I can make sure I can get all of those bristles nice and clean. And then I will add some water here, and I'm going to add water first to my piece. So I'm just going to take a random piece of paper that I like. I'm not worried about having it have perfect edges, so it's just a warm-up. I'm going to get water on it, and you're going to notice right now, I think you may have noticed already, that I am using a slant of about 40 degrees, and you can do whatever slant you feel comfortable working on. Watercolor is very, very good when you have a slope. Without a slope, it kind of misses the whole opportunity to be inspirational and playful with your paint. So I like to add water first to my section, and then I'm going to go in and get pigment. So let's go with, I feel like this nice yellow over here would be lovely. So I'm going to use some of this and just see how it spreads. And I'm going to let that go wherever it wants to go. I'm going to let it play. And the color is only going to go where I invite it to go, just like Jean Haynes always says. If you invite it, it'll go there. But if you don't, it won't. So I invite it, and I don't want it to be a hard edge, so I am going to, it's kind of tricky with only one finger, with me holding the camera. Sorry, I put my finger in front of the camera. Okay, now I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to look. I like to have this too. It's kind of helpful for when we're working with kids, and it really helps to show you the opposing color and what would be a really nice color on the opposite side always blends really nicely. So I'm thinking if I'm in the oranges, I'm going to go across and find its complementary color of blue. So I'm going to go find my blue, cerulean blue. Let's see. And I didn't get it wet like I did on the other side, so you can see it different. It won't flow as easily. So I'm going to go get some water and help it flow together. Just let those flow. A friend asked me to please show a video of me in my little space, so I'm trying. This is my first attempt with the video and painting at the same time. It's neat. So I just love to see, I don't usually use just 2 blues in any of my paintings. I like to, hang on, love bug. What's that, love?
I need some help.
Okay, are you trying to get online or? Okay, so I'm just going to let these dance together. I'll be right there, sweetheart. I'm going to have to stop my video and help my son with his home learning. So I will post this, and you can just play for a few minutes with different colors on your own palette, and I'll come back. Thanks.